Hey guys, what's going on? Jimmy the Owl here. This was not something that I had pinned on my bingo card this year. I was expecting a shutdown or go forward, not a complete reversal on both of them. So let's just quickly get through this, give my thoughts and opinions on it after I get through all the information, plus the information on Discord. So let's just get through this. First things first, you'll find out there's no online requirement anymore. They've completely removed the online component of the game. There's no queues, no login, no accounts. You can choose to play solo or play in peer-to-peer co-op or with friends. This was a big shift, but it was a necessary one, seeming they didn't have the funds / a company publisher to solve all the issues in accounts, server side, and all that fun stuff. It made sense that this was the way they were going to go with this. It is a one price fits all, $24.99 USD for early access. It will increase upon release. No in-game purchases or microtransactions, just one price. I'll get into that later on my thoughts and opinions on that. Major gameplay changes. This is the one that really makes me feel a bit better about the whole thing. All weapons become randomized drops. I felt like that should have been the beginning from the get-go with various slots. Armor will now have stats and be collectibles. This should have been from the get-go as well. Thousands of cosmetics and housing items available to collect. Should have been a get-go in as well. The removal of the grind to get new characters eased requirements for awakening characters. It's debatable if they should have done this from the get-go, because technically speaking, because it's an MMO, you need to give people some reason to go. So that one's needed for the single player aspect. Increased housing limit, that's just because there's no servers anymore. Adding 4 difficulties to choose from, again, no, not an MMO anymore, needed that. Incorporating traditional RPG talent should have been in the game as much more. This update will launch with the latest Wayfinder Grandel. Sucks that he never got out while I was doing videos on this game, as well as a brand new hunt, a new overworld zone 3 times the size of our last, and the overflowing with content and points of interest. You can now play on Xbox Series X, was the big announcement here. It is going to be available for people like me on May 31st, and it's going to be available for everyone else June 11th. These changes will be coming as well with no PS4 support, which is fair. The PS4 is kind of like on its last leg, so it doesn't really need the support there. So it'll be a PS5, Xbox X and S series, and Steam game. And then it shows you the path. May 31st, soft launch for all founders. June 11th goes into early access. Summer is live and goes on PlayStation sale. By fall, they want to be leaving early access and be on the Xbox. That is the plan that they have going forward. For everyone here at Airship Syndicate, our fans and supporters have been irreplaceable. All the comments and support have helped push us to make Wayfinder the best it can be and make sure it stays here now and forever. Right, now let's move over to the Discord. Right, at the top, there says there's an hour interview with Joe and Ryan, which is like the 2 heads of the company, I'm pretty sure, coming out on Friday. I'm probably not going to do anything with that. It's just like a non-starter for me. I don't really need to hear them talk about the reasons that things have happened. I can kind of grasp why they've happened. So, pretty much, the first section is MMO to single player / co-op. They're pretty much saying this had to happen. It was either shut or go bust, but people can play and even mod forever. Nothing is changing when it comes to the ability to play with 3 people. It will be direct multiplayer now with no servers, very similar to Borderlands or the Remnant series or any other co-op game. So why did the multiplayer go away? We had partners who were going to handle the multiplayer stuff, then we didn't, which is fair enough. The publishing sector really fucked everything over for the game, and there's not much point complaining at them about it. There's not much they can do. The sad thing is, with this means cross-play and cross-saves are gone now. There's just no way to do it. They are looking into it, but it's complicated. You just go via friends on Steam and just play the game. Progression is carried over for everyone, so if you all go into the game at the same time, at the same point, it'll progress for everyone, I'm pretty sure, is what that means. I don't think you can skip stuff as a single player. All progression is persistent between co-op and solo play, so it's not just one character. You can all grind mounts and stuff together. Could you not host our saves for a few months so we could download them for... We looked into it, logistically not very possible, so we're just not getting our saves. Progression wipe is a joke. Yep, shutting would have been better. And I will make a statement on this one. I get the argument for shutting would have been better. Because right now he puts how so you bought something and then it goes away forever. I get that it's a shift from the original product, but how can you just never touch it again, be better? Because the problem is 90% of the people are never going to touch this game anyway that wanted the MMO. Plus, now the people who wanted the MMO are going to get a sight of what could have been. Right now, my biggest problem is I really wanted this to work. In my last video, I said I've never wanted anything more but Wayfinder to function and work and become a solid MMORPG that lasts for a long time. Now I get to peer into what could have been, but I don't get it completely. Now when Wayfinder comes out, it's not going to be an MMO. I'm never going to get raids. I'm never going to get all that stuff, but I could feel what it could have been like with all these new changes and things that was most likely going to be added down the line in the MMO aspect. I'm getting in a single player game. If the game shut down, it was, oh fuck, that sucks, but then I would never have a peek of what could have been. It was like, well, this is what we got and it was alright, but it was just never meant to be. Now I get well, I don't get what I originally wanted, but I'm getting a game that's going to show me what I could have had if it was an MMO, and that hurts more. Which is why I get that it should have shut down a bit, but not completely, because like he says, at least you still get to play a game. It just hurts more to get what could have been a little closer to you. And I hope that makes some sort of sense, because there's two sides of the tale. One, people who don't want this aren't going to play it anyway, so they still lost the money. Two, people who wanted it to be an MMO but are still going to try this one are going to get a taste of what could have been if they had the funds, the resources, the publishers, what could have been. And that hurts. That seriously hurts. Multiplayer community will still very much be a thing. It's just not server based. I still plan on doing community competitions and seeing what y'all come up with. This is no different to Borderlands from 200 over co-op games. Fair enough. Private servers similar to Minecraft and V-Rising, yes we did, but too much work for a short time we had to do this, but something we'll add if there was support for it. And then server browsing, we would like to open this future if financially viable. If peer-to-peer right now, matchmaking is something we would like to do if we are able to do it in the future. Free updates or expansions, this is a free update. I'm confused, do I have to buy anything else again? No you don't. Why is the price increased? Because we took all the microtransactions out. It's not a fair statement. I would have said I took all the microtransactions out and we've made the game a complete game, which you have done. Wayfinder in its current state is not anywhere near a complete game. Even as an MMO, it barely just functions as that. We didn't have any endgame / raid / anything like that. So your argument really should have been microtransactions out plus we're now a full game, a full-fledged single-player game that deserves a higher pay price, right? Like that was what my argument would be. Yes, no Finder items available in-game to earn. This kind of is a pointless argument to make. What's the point? Like, who cares if these Founder items are available in-game to earn or not? You said you can mod the game. The files will be there. They can just mod the files and give themselves the items anyway. It's a nothing burger of a statement. We should get free copies of Wayfinder and the Founders Pack. We looked into it, but you couldn't do it. Apparently, Steam doesn't do this anymore. I've not looked into this per se. I'm just going to take them on their word. It just doesn't support that thing anymore. Can higher tier founders get free DLC in the future? I think this is reasonable, and I'll bring it to the team. This was something, they haven't put it in here. This is something that really irked me. They answered this question a lot about free DLCs / paid expansions and DLCs. And they gave different answers every time. At the beginning, there was no plans for this. In the middle, there was, we'll see what we can do. And towards the end, they were like, well, if the community's there, we were very much down to give DLCs, updates, and expansions. They don't know. Just say you don't know. I don't mind if you don't know what the future is holding. You've been telling me you don't know for nearly 6 months now. Just tell me you don't know if there'll ever be DLC. Tell me you don't know if the game will ever get an update past launch. Tell me these things. Be truthful and honest. Because it sounds like you don't. and you're just trying to hide behind the fact that if the community isn't there, we just don't do anything. Which is a fair enough statement, but just say that and don't try and like wiggle your way around it. Like, we don't know, like being like, well, we don't think we'll be doing expansions. Maybe we'll do expansions. Well, if the community's there, sure, we'll do expansions and updates and DLCs and stuff. It was just a really weird way of going about this whole thing. Can you still buy the founders back? No, they're retired. What is going to happen to Rune Silver? All founders will get whatever exclusive founder items they purchase with their respective pack. This is a exclusive vendor in Skylight, which has items which are only purchasable with the founders' coins. These account of coins player depend how much Rune Silver they owned in the entirety of early access. I'm going with there's a cap to this. I'm going with whatever the highest pack would probably be the maximum amount that Rune Silver it's going to cap at. I bought the highest point. I also bought Rune Silver, so I'll be interested to see if I'll get into that later, but I would be interested to see what goes there. What's happening to the items that were previously MTX only files in the previous MTX items, which is microtransactions for anyone who doesn't know, now being converted into in-game loot. Lots with actual gameplay now is generally can't think of an example of this happening in the past. This is a very interesting situation as a whole, to be fair, so fair enough. Drops, are they worth collecting? There are a lot of other items worth collecting from early bosses, armor percent, 7% base, so will scale to your level. What do randomized drops work? You get into a dungeon, you find one tooth, a claw with X echo slots on it. You keep playing for 10 minutes later to find a level 5 tooth with a claw with Y echo slots on it. All weapons and armors now have dropped base stats, which should have been in the game from the get-go. This is how the game should have worked from the start, and I'm kind of sad. Again, this is going back to the whole the game should have shut. This is sad because now I'm seeing what the game could have been if it made it that far into the state, which is just annoying. How are we going to get Wayfinders now? There's a bunch of balance changes to Wayfinders, plus you'll get them naturally as drops through MSQs and side quests and hunts. So that's main story quests. The grind has been drastically reduced. They randomly drop around the world, but some of them drop chance from locations. Helper coins have been expanded and are still in the game. Get coins via jobs. We can still get Echoes V2. No, the method wasn't in scope for this transition, and with the time we had. Reward towers are still in the game, so it's not being anything else. There were 2 reward towers to collect items, but they are free for everyone. How much longer will the story be? This is now like the span, like the scope they've gone for. Story has been fleshed out, more quests, and amazing boss battles and cinematics going to see you in May 31st. I'm interested to see how they've done all this and what they've actually done. And I don't really know the story of Wayfinder, so it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to convey that now with the whole ordeal being done and dusted. Seeming apparently that it's all there on May 31st. Coming when the game... Oh wait, the main story will end with a cinematic ending, a whole new zone, story content coming when the game fully leaves early access. So it's not finished yet. Okay, got ya. Hope the devs have been cooking. Yeah, Frost Martian saying there's multiple world bosses, hidden bosses, mini open world dungeons, and tons of monster camps all over the place. Would have been exciting if it was an MMO. There are planned updates and contents. We plan updating the game throughout early access. After that, the fans will decide. If there's an audience, we'll keep working on it. This is the thing that, again, I'm just not 100% sure on. You don't have any outside income now, so once you're practically surviving off game sales, when you're surviving off game sales, Tarkov found this out the hard way. Eventually, you need another source of income. There's only so many people that will buy your game. There's only so long you can live off that. Like, the one-offs are very, very small. The only one I can think of is No Man's Sky, and that had millions and millions of sales on day one and still continues to sell like hotcakes with every update, and people still buy that game. We are not that game. Again, we're trying to make a pivot so we can support the game long term. If the audience is there, we'll keep making content. We had a 6-player raid working, and we've done work to convert it to a 3-player content. When that comes out, no idea, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not really a raid, though. If it's free people, it's just normal content. Are we going to fight world bosses? There's spawnable challenges in the game. They should have been like that to begin with. What's some other stuff coming in this update? A new character, 4 difficulty level, mythic hunts, thousands of items to collect. There's a heroic difficulty, which I recommend for all sweaty gamers. Each Wayfinder has 3 unique aspect talents, depending on what affinity you want to invest in. Free respecking. The 3 archetypes have unique talent trees. Again, like, imagine if I got this while the game was an MMO. Imagine how cool this would have been. Each archetype has unique expansion and talent tree now. Think of Path of Exile. Like, don't worry, it's nowhere as frustrating as PoE's talent tree can be. Just imagine how cool the game could have been, man. This is just random stuff. This is the refunds policy, which I will get to in a bit. This is one clip just saying that, like, they had to make a transition, and more to see continued. The plan is to fully convert the finished featured completes into 1.0 with Xbox and PS5 Steam later this year. If future content can be made or not, but we will still be here for support, which is what I think people are missing with support for as long as possible. That doesn't mean the game gets support and the game gets updates and content and stuff. That means the game might get bug fixes every now and again, and this Discord will be up and running if you need help. But that doesn't mean that we'll be getting content or anything like that. They have indeed voice acted quips. Fishing is not currently in scope. I'm never getting fishing. Free player co-op is the only thing within scope. We would like to expand to larger group content, but that will depend on if they continue to fund future content development. And here's a peek at the weapon changes. No longer level up, but drop at different level ranges. Should have been like that from the get-go. Weapon XP have been removed. Echo slots are randomly rolled for each time you loot a new weapon. Rush and cross types echo have been fixed. Players can now own multiple of the same weapon types. Awakening benefits all instances of weapons. Awakening levels are now easier to achieve. Weapon essence have been removed. Weapons were now previously cosmetic only skins will remain the same. However, they can be found as loot throughout the game and applied in the style menu like no. Also 10 new weapons. The sneaks, and these are all the things that they're showing off. I think I can go side to side. So the picture of him on the mount, I think that's the tank guy. Cross stood in a snow area that we haven't been to yet, I don't think. New kind of style of number plating. Kind of looks different than how the numbers are showing up, but that just may be different from how long I've played Wayfinder. More armor that I've not seen before. Sword and shield I don't think I've seen before, and I don't think this area has ever been like this. They've changed this area. Yeah, that's the weapon she was holding. That's a new mount right there. That is the thing that they leaked, quote-unquote leaked. I don't think people understand what a leak means anymore. What the dev showed as a sneak preview, and this is the new loading screen / menu screen. And then there's a bit more stuff. This is the armor set palette thing that they're showing, where it shows you what items you have and don't have in your statistics. Another mount with whoever the fuck that is. Grendel, this area that we've never been to before. And last but not least, the difficulty setting. A shard of effigy core, whatever that means. And there's a video that I've never seen before. And that's just how loot's going to be obtained. Right. Okay. You only got like, oh my god, what have I done? I didn't mean to open Discord support. Refunds continued. And I will... This is where we're at with them. Right. So I'll talk about the refund stuff. I'll keep it on this stuff while I talk about it. I have gone for a refund. And it's not for the reasons everyone's going to throw out. It's not because, like, I think I've been robbed. I think I've been scammed. It's the fact that I paid £100 for an MMO experience that I'm not getting anymore. And this game is only $25. 90% of the stuff that £100 paid for is not in the game or is now free to play. So, I feel like I'm deserved at least everything back that wasn't given to me now. Character coins aren't a thing anymore. That was part of the pack that I paid for. weapon XP and stuff isn't going to be there. The characters that they gave you are going to be in the game. I'm just not going to have them, and everyone's going to have access to them. Same as the reward towers. I was paying for 2 reward towers and an XP boost on said reward towers. They're free now, and everyone's going to get them. So realistically, I've paid £100 for a £25 game, and I don't think that's fair. That is why I've gone for a refund, and I just want to make that clear. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I don't think, like, everyone should be refunding the game and stuff. I'm going to try to draw this out to try and make a point. The base pack was $100. The game is now $25, right? This is why people think they deserve a refund, and I'm all for it, and I totally agree with anyone who thinks this, right? The things that are worthless within this pack now, the characters, because you get them just by playing the game. The weapons, because they're not done as they used to be. They're now level ups as you go through the game. They drop at different tiers. Character tokens aren't a thing anymore. Rune Silver's not a thing anymore. Neither is the reward tower XP. The things that are in this pack that are also in the base game, reward towers. So that's instantly most of the pack done, because that was the only other bonus. The skins, I'm pretty sure, are all cosmetic now within the game, so that doesn't mean anything. The only thing you get for $100 is the exclusive skins, which are pointless because it's a single player game with mods. So you can just get the files and mod them in. So no need for this. This is pointless. This is a nothing burger. This means nothing. $100 for a $25 game. That's why people are pissed, and I totally agree. I've seen, and I'm keeping notes on it, and if you want to keep notes on it, well, go to the Discord. There is a group of people with their own forum page that has been set up by the devs as well, so they're not completely against this, apparently. I'm trying to get a refund from Steam. They have a copy and text page for you to copy and paste if you want to do so, to try and get a refund. If you want to, the link is in the description down below for the Discord. And I can finally go over my last final thoughts. I'm sad to see Wayfinder go. What does this mean for the channel? There's going to be barely any Wayfinder content. Like, Wayfinder content is done, pretty much. When it comes out, I'll play it, but it'll get one video and it'll be done. Wayfinder Wednesdays, done. There's no point in it. There's no need for me to do anything with Wayfinder Wednesdays. It only made sense when there was constant updates, and there won't be. So Wayfinder Wednesdays is done. What that does mean is there's a new MMO slot open on the channel. And that's about it. I'm devastated, I'm saddened, and I wish it just didn't come to this. But as it stands, everyone that is a Wayfinder player on my channel, I'm sorry it turned out this way. And I hope the next time we all find a game that we love and enjoy and hope to succeed, that it does. But it just wasn't meant to be this one, and that's okay. We can't win them all. I hope you guys, whoever joined for Wayfinder content, stick around, and I hope we can find something else to enjoy. Hell, I'm very much open to suggestions on what you guys think should be the next MMO on the channel that takes up a majority of the channel slots for content in between that I tried playing, and something that I can stream would be nice. Until then, I'm saddened by this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.